The Book of the Damned, by Charles Hoyfort, Chapter 14g. Fritsch, October 10, 1802. Stark, October 9, 1819. De Cuppis, October 30, 1839. Seibotham, November 12, 1849. Lecardo, March 26, 1859. Lummis, March 20, 1862. If we weren't so accustomed to science in its essential aspect of disregard, we'd be mystified and impressed, like the editor of Nature, with the formulation of these data. Agreement of so many instances would seem incredible as a coincidence. But our acceptance is that, with just enough disregard, astronomers and fortune-tellers can formulate anything, or we'd engage ourselves to formulate periodicities in the crowds in Broadway. Say that every Wednesday morning, a tall man, with one leg and a black eye, carrying a rubber plant, passes the Singer Building at 10:15. Of course it couldn't really be done unless such a man did have such a periodicity, but if some Wednesday mornings it should be a small child lugging a barrel, or a fat negress with a weak swash, by ordinary disregard that would be a prediction good enough for the kind of quasi-existence we're in. So whether we accuse, or whether we think that the word accuse over-dignifies an attitude toward a quasi-astronomer, or mere figment in the super dream, our acceptance is that Leverrier never did formulate observations. That he picked out observations that could be formulated. That of this type are all formulas. That if Leverrier had not been himself helplessly hypnotized, or if he had had in him more than a tincture of realness, never could he have been beguiled by such a quasi-process. But that he was hypnotized, and so extended, or transferred, his condition to others, that upon March 22nd, 1877, he had this earth bristling with telescopes, with the rigid and almost inanimate forms of astronomers behind them, and not a blessed thing of any unusuality was seen upon that day or succeeding days. But that the science of astronomy suffered the slightest in prestige, it couldn't. The spirit of 1877 was behind it. If, in an embryo, some cells should not live up to the phenomena of their era, the others will sustain the scheduled appearances. Not until an embryo enters the mammalian stage are cells of the reptilian stage false cells. It is our acceptance that there were many equally authentic reports upon large planetary bodies that had been seen near the Sun. That, of many, Leverrier picked out 6, not then deciding that all the other observations related to still other large planetary bodies, but arbitrarily, or hypnotically, disregarding, or heroically disregarding, every one of them, that to formulate at all he had to exclude falsely. The denouement killed him, I think. I'm not at all inclined to place him with the Greys and Hitchcocks and Simmonses. I'm not, because, though it was rather unsportsmanlike to put the dates so far ahead, he did give a date, and he did stick to it with such a high approximation. I think Leverrier was translated to the positive absolute.